Hey, how are you? My name is Eric, and I am owner of Bella Flora Wedding and Event Design. I thought I would try something different and do some live videos today. I have a wedding coming up on Monday, and I'm going to do some floral. So I thought you'd like to see it. If you're a wedding enthusiast or you are a bride and you'd like to know how we get your wedding together, I'll be going over some of the flowers today and going over what I'm actually designing. So we're doing a bride's bouquet start off with, so I'm just going to act as if how I normally do. I'm not going to have everything prepared, ready to go to do a video. I'm going to do this live, so it's going to be just as I would normally. So I have a sheet behind me that you can't see behind the camera that is what I call my recipe. And in that recipe, I have all the floral I'm going to be using throughout the whole wedding. So today we're going to start, as I said, with the bridal bouquet. So you'll be able to watch as I'm going the flowers and what we're doing. So first of all, I have some hydrangeas I'm going to be using. You may be able to see some of these back here. And these are white hydrangeas, and they're a little on the small side than I normally like, but they're real fresh, which is good. So sometimes you get some stuff that's unfortunately not as fresh as you like, and in that case they don't hold up very well. So hydrangeas are a little on the temperamental side. They don't always do real well, especially if it gets warm or if they get thirsty. So I try to be really careful on how I design them and how I use them. So sometimes when I'm designing, I'll use some of the foliage, but today for the bride's bouquet that I'm going to be doing, I don't. These are going to be tinted, and I have some tint over here. I'm going to create kind of a coral color. Hi, how are you? We'll start with some basic orange. See how that kind of coming along. Use a little bit of fuchsia. Now you can buy coral color, but sometimes I like that there's a little bit of a different hue to it as you turn it, right? And now I'm going to add just a touch of yellow, which I did this yesterday, and I just love that coral color that it's creating. It's going to look a little bit different maybe on the screen than you would see in person or live. So I'm going to start again. I'm going to start with 3. We're doing a bride's bouquet right now, and I'm going to start with my base, which is 3 hydrangeas. A little bit of yellow and fuchsia and some of this orange to create the color I'm looking for, which is like a coral. So we're going to be putting these together and adding some roses, and I'll be explaining as we go what floral I'm using. Again, this is a wedding that we're doing for a wedding that's coming up on Monday. So there we have it, 3 hydrangeas to start with, and we're going to start with that as our base. We've got some pretty Juliet garden roses. Now, garden roses are really great because they have a lot of petals and a lot of texture versus a regular standard rose. So when I use these for a bride's bouquet, we don't need any foliage on them because they're going to be pretty much hidden. And I'll use regular foliage to add as an accent to the bride's bouquet. I'm only going to use, let's see, what do I have here? I've got about 3 of these that I'm going to use for this bouquet. And you can actually get in here and open these up a little bit. But one of the things these are good for is some floral that brides like, wedding floral like peonies, right? Those are not always available throughout the year, or bad crop, my wholesaler can't get them. But you can almost always get these garden roses. This is Juliet, and this is Peach. Okay, so they're a great substitute for a peony, and also price is about the same. These I'm not going to go into real detail with prices, but I will share with you that this Juliet garden rose, they usually run 3-4 times as much as a regular standard rose. I've got some back here. Now these are gorgeous. This is called Milva. Okay, so the hue that we're going to use today for the bride's bouquet I'm doing is going to be peaches, corals, and orange color. But isn't that gorgeous? Now that's a standard rose. This Juliet is about 3-4 times as much as my cost for this. Okay, it's just the way it goes. These come in packs of 25. This comes in 12. So it's crazy, the price. But to use this versus a peony is the next best thing. If you're a bride, you want some bouquets. If you can't get peonies because of the season or the time, sometimes they may not be available or they may not be good quality. Almost all year long you can get these garden roses, which they're just awesome. And they come in a lot of different shades too. And the fragrance, fantastic. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So as I'm doing this too, you're welcome also to, if you have any questions about your wedding, you have questions about flowers. I don't know everything, but I do know a few things. I've been doing this, gosh, my family I'm third generation. My family goes back over 100 years in the floral industry. My grandfather started early 1900s. And so I've been doing this out in the Temecula area. I started my own business in '05, and I'm now a preferred vendor for probably about 9-10 different venues. Pechanga, I do a lot of floral there. A lot of the major wineries like South Coast Winery, Palomar, Wilson Creek are just three of a lot of others out in that area that I do a lot of floral for. So, and I'm a preferred vendor for. So if you have any questions about your wedding or about flowers, feel free to message me. I'm not really answering the questions that are coming up. If there's anybody has anything to say, I'm more just teaching as I go, okay? But you're welcome to ask me questions. I'd be happy to answer you and help you out, okay? Again, this is Eric, Bella Flora Wedding and Event Design. Yes, sir?
I was just thinking, you got any like extra white pink roses?
I don't right now. Yeah, everything is ordered specifically for a wedding that I have on Monday.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, everything's down to the count. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. I work out of a facility that has an open door, and I have people that drive by, and at times they ask me, do I have any flowers? And sometimes if I do, I'm happy to give them some extra if I have a couple here and there. But I count everything right down to the actual number. And I'm looking at my list behind me, which tells me that I'm really pretty close to everything that I need. That I need. I don't have a lot of extra. So, okay, so I've got my 3 Juliet roses. I've got my 3 hydrangeas. Now I'm going to start to work with my Melva. I need 3 of these. So these are the orange shades that I'm using. Kind of a neat. It's got some pink in it too. I don't know whether you can see that or not. But these are gorgeous. They're really, really beautiful. Okay. And also I am needing some, these are called Pink Sophia, or I'm sorry, Sophia Blush. That's what these are. And I need also, I'm picking around the corner, I need, let's see, 5 of these. Okay. Pretty rose, very pretty. Blush. And I don't, these are like they call these your shields. There's a few petals on the outside of bouquets that I kind of leave them on, even though they're a little bit rough, till I'm just ready to use them. And that way it keeps everything else inside protected until I'm ready to design with it. So it stays in the bucket with the shields on, and then I do a little opening. Okay, I need 5 of these. Here we go. So I have a wedding this Monday that we're doing at Wilson Creek. Let's see here. I need some stock, and my stock is 3. So this is stock. I always say it's a terrible name for a floral, because it's such a pretty flower. It sounds so basic, right? And it has a great fragrance. And it's fairly inexpensive. It's not an expensive floral. So what's nice about it is it has a long stem, so you can use it for some tall work, or you can use it for a bride's bouquet. And I usually take some of the little heads off of it, so that when it's in the bouquet, you just see that cluster of texture and floral. Some brides want it really airy and loose, and some are wanting it a little more conservative. So based on the pictures that I saw from this bride, and after our discussion, she wants things kind of like in between. Okay. There we go. And then I have some Hypericum. Got a couple different shades. This is Hypericum. It's also known as coffee bean. And really cool. It's like little berries. They just add another texture, right? And this is more of a coral color, see? So we're just going to use a few of these. I think I have 5 set out for these. Orange spray. 5, yeah. So I'm going to go with a couple of 3 of the coral and 2 orange. Or peach. There we go. Put these over here for now. I also have some orange spray roses underneath here. This is some orange spray roses, and I'm going to use, let's see here, 3 stems of those. 1, 2, 3. So as I'm counting, I'm cleaning, right? I do a basic clean before I start the bouquets. I give them a fresh cut. Yesterday I got the floral in from the wholesaler, and I gave them a fresh cut, fresh water, let everything start to open up. And then I go through after, and I go through and do a little bit more of a cleaning, and it's based on what I'm going to use the floral for. So if I'm doing some sprays, some arrangements for, let's say, the ceremony, I may leave more foliage on. But for a bride's bouquet, I don't like a lot of the foliage that's on the roses, because the foliage doesn't last very long. It's more noticeable if it goes dry, or it wouldn't be so noticeable in a large spray with a lot of foliage, where this is going to be mostly floral. Okay, so I've got my spray roses. And then I've got my Hypericum. I'm going to clean this. This is my stripper. We call this a stripper. And I'll also pull the foliage there. These are great for when you're cleaning roses. Okay. So as I said, family goes back over 100 years in the floral industry. I'm a 3rd generation. There is 4th generation that are involved in the flowers. My grandfather started the business back in Detroit area. Some of you may be aware of FTD. You may have heard of Floral Telegram Service, FTD. And my grandfather got his start working for a guy in the flower business that was one of the architects of FTD. So I thought that was kind of just some cool. I just found that out recently. Okay, now we have some foliage. This is some really neat variegated stuff. It's kind of green and kind of a cream color. So this is kind of cool. We're going to use some of this. And I have some Italian ruscus, which is, this is great for if you're looking for something that's a real durable green foliage that lasts and lasts and lasts. This stuff doesn't dry up very much. I can leave this out for a couple weeks and usually it still looks good if it's in water. Real rich green. It's real long, so that works really well if you want to create something with length, or you want to have something draping. If you have a container like this, you want something draping, this is really great for something green. Now if you wanted something more like eucalyptus, which I have some here. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, here we go. Silver dollar, very, very popular right now. Silver dollars, seed eucalyptus, feather eucalyptus, different kinds of eucalyptus. That's good for that. But for something green, if you like the green color, this stuff is awesome. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to use a little bit of that. And I think that's going to be it. So now we start the design. So I'm going to tilt this down just a bit, and that way you can see more of what I'm doing here. So I'm going to start with hydrangeas. I'm going to just focus in on what I'm doing. You can watch and learn. Little foliage inside the design too is nice. We're starting. Sometimes I'll even use the hydrangea like a grid and I'll go right in it like that. Because these are your more high-end floral, I like to try to showcase them by making sure they're in a real good spot to be seen, because they are the more expensive floral that's being used. Which I won't put these in the bridesmaid bouquets. The bride's bouquet usually is 3, maybe 4 times more money than the bridal bridesmaid bouquet. The bridal bouquet is about 3 or 4 times more cost, because of the types of floral and the amounts of floral. So I'll try to, I won't be putting high-end floral in the bridesmaid, because we want the bride's bouquet to kind of showcase, rather be the cornerstone of the floral design. Oh, look at that, I broke one. So here we go, we're building this. Now the bride wanted it kind of a little loose and airy, so I'll try to create that more with the foliage. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Bride's going to hold that like this, right? So we've got our Julia, again our garden rose, we've got the Milva, the orange rose, we've got the blush Sophia, which is up right here. We have the Hypericum, we have two different shades. Hypericum here, which is kind of a peach, and then we've got this coral color. Also some spray roses, the orange spray, and this different variegation of foliages, and the green Italian ruscus, and then as you remember we started with the hydrangea. This hydrangea I tinted myself, so here we have it here, and there you go. So now I will take this off. I use this Oasis tape. It's kind of a vinyl, water resistant. Okay, and then I'll cut it, cut the stems. And we won't tie it off with ribbon. We'll add ribbon to the stem, but I wait on that till the day before. Or the morning of, rather. I wait till the morning of to add the ribbon, because sometimes the water will work on it and it doesn't look as nice as if I wait. So there you have it. That's a bride's bouquet in this order. Kind of loose, kind of airy, a lot of floral. I hope you like that, right? Most importantly, I hope the bride likes that, right? That's our goal. Okay. We have that. There we are. Now that'll sit and it'll wait until we add the ribbon, which will be Monday morning. So now something a little bit smaller. I'm going to do a maid of honor bouquet. So it's similar, but a little on the smaller side. So I'm going to start again with 2 hydrangeas. I'll clean my space up here a little bit. So we normally at Bella Flora do 60, 80, I've done as many as 100 events a year. But of course with COVID, you're probably aware a lot of businesses changed and what they could do and what they were allowed to do. We're in Southern California, so we've had a lot of challenges with COVID. And a lot of the venues have had to accommodate and have a smaller weddings, stuff like that. So we've had a lot of our weddings were rescheduled for this year, and now I'm even getting some brides that are wanting to change and do it next year. So hopefully things will open up even better by maybe May, June. So as I said, we're tinting these hydrangeas. I did on the first bouquet. So we're tinting these. We're making a coral color. Sometimes you can buy the tint that is coral already, but sometimes I like to create my own colors. Use some basic colors or a combination of colors to create a coral. There you go. That's the coral. We used, again, for that, we used a fuchsia and tangerine and this amarillo yellow. These are the aspen yellow, they call it. These are all floral design that I buy at my wholesaler. Again, if you have any questions, I'm not really answering any questions that come up here, and I don't think anybody's really asking any questions, which is good. But if you have any questions, please feel free to message me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. If you have a question about flowers, about wedding flowers, if you want to I offer free consultation. I'm out of Southern California, so if you have a wedding in Southern California, let me know. If you want a free consultation and a free proposal, I give you all the prices that we're doing in that consultation. Let's see. And that is no cost to have a proposal. Now I'm looking on I have a cheat sheet behind me that gives me the recipe of every design that we're using. So I'm looking at the floral that we're using, 2, 4 into that. That's 2, and that's 3. These are the Milva. These are really cool roses. They're an orange, and they also have a little bit of you may be able to see that kind of a pink hue to it on some of the tips, some of a kind of a pinkish coral. So, and these are great. These are great floral. They're opening up beautifully. These and 3 of the Sophia blush. There we go. As I said, I usually wait to just pull a few of these. They're called shields. The last bit of petal on the outside, I leave them on until I'm getting ready to use it, because they kind of work as a shield for the rest of the rose, kind of protect it. Okay, 3 of these. Okay, now I am going to use 1 of these Juliets per. I have actually 4 bridesmaid bouquets to make, so I'm just going to do 1 for you, and then we'll probably stop. So I'll be on another couple minutes here. But this is a garden rose. And as I said earlier, it's about the same price as a peony. And the benefit of going with the garden rose is it's a great substitute for a peony because it has all these layers. And when it opens up, it really is gorgeous. and it has a wonderful fragrance. So you can't always get peonies during the year, but you can almost always get garden roses. Okay, so with that, I have the Juliet, and now I need an orange spray rose. Here we go. These are the orange spray roses we're using. I have two stems per bride's bouquet. Bridesmaid, I should say. Bridesmaid bouquets. That's what we're doing right now, a bridesmaid bouquet. And I'm looking on my list here. I've got 3 of the Hypericum. Back here. This is Hypericum, also known as coffee bean. Just a nice floral. I love it because it's a different texture. It adds another texture. When it comes to flowers, some flowers you just love and some flowers you don't care for very much. That's just the way it is. And some brides would see this and go, oh, I love it. Other brides, no way, I wouldn't want that. And that's just your personal taste, which is great because there's so many different varieties of floral. I have some brides that, for instance, one of the things that I do for brides when it comes to embellishing their bouquet, sometimes they want bling, and I say I have rhinestone. I'm looking here real quick. I have rhinestone corsage pins, right? And they look like bling, right? And then I have others that are your traditional, right? Pearl. Right? Pearl, right? So we know these are just corsage pins, right? But we can use these to decorate the bride's bouquet. When we add the ribbon, we can add pins on the side, design or just straight spine to it. We can add some of these corsage pins, bling, right in the center of the rose sometimes, if they like that. Now, some brides, they love the bling because their dress has embellishment, or they love the pearl, right? Because their dress has pearl, maybe lace. And so we accommodate by trying to decorate that up to match their dress. But again, it just different strokes. People like different things. I have some brides that just, you can't put enough bling on anything that they have. They have the tiara, they have the everything, right? And so it just depends on personal taste. That's all. And I don't. In those things, I don't have a preference because my goal is to make sure the bride is happy with the design that we're doing. Okay. So we also have some stock for this. So this, as I said a moment ago, stock is great. It has a great fragrance. You can't smell it, but that's what it looks like. It's real soft and has some nice texture to it. It has some length, so I can use it for a bride's bouquet, or I can use it for sprays that I'm designing, something larger because of the height, or a high centerpiece, you can use it. They don't have a long shelf life, usually. So that's one of the challenges with stock. Okay. All right. So I'm looking at my recipe behind, which is my list of how many flowers I get for everything. I think we're there for everything that this particular design gets, with the exception of a little foliage. Okay. So you'll find that it takes longer to prepare to do the bouquet than actually it takes me to do the bouquet. It takes more time just to lay everything out and get everything clean and counted. So I may use a little. This is Salal, so another good hardy green foliage, great for floral design. So I'm going to use this as well. And so we'll start with the hydrangea, as I said. We tinted this from white, started off like this back here, right? And then we tinted it to make it this nice coral orange color. And I will maybe start with a little bit of foliage inside. Well, that's not a good piece right there. Let's do this piece right here. A little foliage and add rose in here. Over here. Spray roses. I'll tilt this down just a bit to help you see it a little bit better. Now remember, this is not a bride's bouquet. This is a bridesmaid bouquet. So this is going to be a little on the smaller side. We don't want to overpower the bridesmaids because we don't want to be in competition with the bride, right? But it's still going to be a nice full floral bouquet. I sometimes try to, some of the colors are similar, so I try to make sure that I don't have too much of a cluster of one color in one side. So I rotate because I'm looking for an opening, like, okay, I've got enough pink here, let me add something a little orange here, or I've got enough orange here, let me add something a little more. So like here I've got light pink and I've got kind of a coral, and then maybe I'll add the orange right in this side, see? Okay, so, and as you spin it and as you go, you can drop the floral a little bit on the outside so it starts to fill in on the sides, see? So if you have everything flat, like you put it upside down and it would stand up, then it's not going to give you that round, full look, right? And then here's foliage. We do a little foliage here. Couple different kinds. Again, not too much. Okay, so this would be a bridesmaid bouquet. Again, and I'm a pretty good sized guy, right? So I'm like 6'2", I'm like 270. So this bouquet, it looks a little small for me, but it should. But if I was 125 pounds and I was 6 foot or 5'4", a girl, this would be plenty big enough, right? Okay. And sometimes I forget as I'm designing. I look at it and I go, gosh, that looks a little small. You know, maybe I should add a little bit. And then I get to the wedding and I see the girls and they pick up the bouquets and it's like, no, that's plenty big enough. 'Cause I unless a bride asks, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of, and here's the bride. If some of you who are just tuning in, this is the bride's bouquet, and then this is the bridesmaid bouquet. See, this is almost double, almost triple of what's in here, and there's a lot more floral here too. So I'm not a fan of bouquets that are so huge that they hide the bride. And, you know, there's a lot to say about marketing. And if you look at a lot of the magazines today that are marketing brides and their bouquets and their gowns, and they show this huge design that's about this wide, right? And about this tall. And it's like a shield. It's like she's hiding behind it. I love flowers, and I'm all about selling flowers to a bride. But I'm not, let me see here. I'm not really a fan of creating such a large amount of floral that you can't even see the bride. She's got a beautiful dress on, and she's spent money on this dress, a lot more than she did on the bouquet. And all you can see is the bouquet and her little head behind it, right? So I'm more about creating something that accentuates her and her day, and something that's not like she needs a crane to lift it for her wedding day. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so here you go. So with that, I'm going to close now, and I'll probably do some more tomorrow. I have some centerpieces to make tomorrow and some large ceremony sprays. So if you would, if you're not following me, follow me. Also, create a notification so tomorrow when I start this, you can tune in and maybe watch me do some centerpieces and see how I do those, design those for a wedding that we've got on Monday. Also, we're doing a few ceremony sprays that I think may interest you as well. So check in with us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, this is Eric with Bella Flora Wedding and Event Design. We are in Southern California, Temecula area. I have been in this region since '05, and I'm a preferred vendor for wedding flowers for approximately 9-10 different venues. So we do a lot of wedding flowers, and we'd be happy to meet with you and offer you a free consultation. If in fact you're getting married in this area, I say Southern California. I'll do weddings. I'll travel from LA all the way down to San Diego. So with that, we want to thank you for tuning in. Again, Eric with Bella Flora, 714-356-0165. That's 714-356-0165. Have a great day. Thanks so much.